Hello and welcome to the Cameron Roger highlights for the 2023 Japanese Grand Prix. You join us from a pretty dismal 17th place on the grid because once again we bottled the qualifying session. Our teammate is up in 5th, but here's how we bottled. First lap around into 130R. We touched the curb on the outside, big snap. Fortunately we save it, we do finish the lap, but in the end it was only good enough for 17th because we didn't complete the next lap. Second lap around, way too fast into Degner 1, go on the curb on the outside and do a nice barrel roll for good measure. But yeah, that wasn't the only issue we had at this corner. Third lap around, we touched the grass on the entry, starts to slide, and then we just couldn't quite save it. So unfortunately, we are back here in 17th place, and once again, just like the previous race in Monza, we give ourselves a lot of work to do. 16th place last time, 17th place this time around. Our teammate, once again, Tom Odermeyer, does a pretty decent job in quali, gets up into 5th place. But as we come onto the grid, we know we have some work to do. It's looking like a two-stop strategy today, so let's see what we can do. The lights come on, and when they go out, as ever, we will be racing here at Suzuka. From the back of the pack, let's see how far up the grid we can get. 43 laps today. Already one position made as we come in towards turn number 1. Pretty slow braking on the inside there from Tucson, so we see the opportunity to go around the outside, and he gives us a little bit of space. So look, we have the opportunity, we get past the valet car as well. But unfortunately we have to back out of that one with Tucson. But what he doesn't know is the trick up my sleeve of this nice cheeky move around the outside is going to be up the inside there in towards turn 6, and very nicely done indeed. But of course we have to use the battery, otherwise they start clipping. So we deploy the push to pass, we get around the outside of Giannis Lianos, very tight up the inside. He brakes early, gives us the place. I'm very happy with that one because that was a very tight move. Up to 13th place already, 4 positions just in sector 1. On this first lap, we got, I think it's Frelick just up ahead of us. We got the inside of him into the hairpin. We think we got the position, but unfortunately he's looking pretty racy and using quite a bit of push to pass to defend. So we'd back out of that one, coming up towards Spoon Corner. So in towards the chicane, we see the opportunities, of course, to start making some positions. Look at the big train. Frelick makes a huge mistake onto the anti-cut there, out onto this start-finish straight. We think, okay, this is the opportunity. He's not really in the slipstream of the cars ahead, but he's absolutely dumping his push pass to hold on from me. Definitely wants that place. So again, back out of that one. We want to play the long game in this race. And, oh, actually, having said that, there's an opportunity up ahead, though. Bookhouse made a bit of a mistake. Side by side, they're going to go in towards turn 3 and 4. This never usually ends well. Contact is made between the two. We slow down nicely. And thank you very much. And that is a bit of a sue because we're up into 11th place already. 6 places gained. And here is the state. A little bit of a breakaway at the front, but we're pretty much in the pack. It's just a little bit more splintered than the previous race in Monza. So, yeah, don't know if we're going to be able to challenge for the race victory, but at least maybe some decent positions. We have to just see how it goes. And the issue for us is we weren't feeling too comfortable in these first couple of laps. Lap 5, we are on the back of Danny Van Der Neet here, who's got Mancini, but already lap 6, a little bit later, we're making some mistakes, and we now have Sergio Fletcher coming up behind us, and we've completely lost the train up ahead. So I was a little bit worried about our speed at this point, but then Danny Van Der Neet starts making some mistakes. We catch back up on lap 7, and here is a potential opportunity. So we're going to have a little bit of a look to the inside. He covers off last minute, misses his braking zone, goes over the chicane. So this could be the opportunity that we've been waiting for to try and get past him down this front straightaway. But unfortunately, lots of these guys, they seem to be very happy to just absolutely dump their push to pass to defend. So once again, we get closer, but then he starts pressing that button again. I don't know if you can see that, but the closing speed just stops as he presses that push to pass button to hold on. Lap 9, and Fletcher is starting to get close to us. He's thinking about a little bit of a move in towards the final chicane, but we have that one covered off. Van Der Neet making some mistakes up ahead, so definitely loads of potential for us at this moment in the race still, but we make a mistake there coming in towards the chicane, and this is going to be Fletcher's option. We're out of the DRS, we're out of the main slipstream from the cars ahead as well, so this is going to be a pretty tricky battle. It's going to be side by side in towards turn 1. We know that's going to defend as late as we can. We leave him just about enough space on the outside, but we're going to be holding it, giving each other racing room rather nicely here. Side by side in towards 3 and 4. We saw what happened a little bit earlier with Frelick. A bit of contact between the two. We managed to just about get through there, but unfortunately he hits the grass and he gets a bit of a wiggle on. Here is it from his perspective. Around the outside, he does a really good job actually to continue their side by side. I do give him the space here, but as we come into turn 3, I squeeze in quite tight. Don't want to give him any chance to sort of get some overspeed on me, and unfortunately there, just touching the grass, loses out on that battle. And already some pit stops coming in. Van den He's made a pit stop, and now Leonov as well. So this is opening up the train a bit ahead of us, and this is actually quite good because we now have Mancini, we've got Lahu as well, and these guys, as we've seen in previous races, they just like dumping their battery very early in the race. So pretty easy move. It's going to be up the inside there, coming towards Spoon Corner. Yeah, no real issues at all. And then also for Lahu, this is going to be for 6th place already, but of course some pit stops have been made. But once again, a nice easy move way before the DRS line. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident at this stage. The issue is there's such a big gap ahead of us. Got Schmidt there. He's doing well, but look at the gap already up towards the top 3. And Zaligianis has already made a pit stop from the front. So yeah, definitely some big sort of gaps to make up over the course of the second half of this race. Lap 19 now. This was our scheduled pit stop lap, and we've caught up to Thomas Schmidt, who's still out. So we are leading the race 1 and 2, and this was the idea. We're going to stay up to lap 19. 24 laps to go, so it's going to be 12-12 on the medium tyres for me. And of course, we want to get the undercut on Schmidt as well, so this is going to be working out perfectly because he's going very slow. His tyres are dead, and therefore he's actually going to come into the pit lane, so we stay out. Oh, and almost hit the pit wall with a last-minute decision to stay out, and oh, that was so close to ending our race. But fortunately, we continue. However, we did have discussions with my engineer, who was Michi Hoyer, for this race, that may not have been the best thing because the undercut was so powerful here. But what it actually did do was it gave us an extra lap offset. But look, here already is you got Seva, you got Zaligianis, Lahu still out there, then my teammate and Ivanov as well. So they almost undercut me by a full pit stop in that first stint, such as, doing the long stints, you do go really slow. But what we have now is we have brand new medium tyres against quite a few people ahead who've been on the tyres for a few laps already. So we're going to have a big pace advantage here in this middle stint on these medium tyres. So this is really where we need to start making some moves. Look at the big gaps up ahead here as well. We've got Barbakov, we've got Van den and Leonov. But these guys have been on their tyres now already for about 7-8 laps. So they're pretty slow, let's be honest at this point. So we're going to have about 1.5 seconds per lap pace advantage. So we need to see off these guys, as this is our chance to get back up in towards the train. So the first one is Mirko Mancini, but I didn't want to waste any more push past than I needed to, so I didn't burn any to get past into the chicane there, or burn any extra I should say. We just got him nicely there on the start-finish straight. Next up is Sergio Fetcher. This will be getting us up inside the top 10 if we can get past him, but once again we don't want to burn it and do a dive into the chicane at that time. It wasn't the most crucial, wasn't a do or die move, so once again we'll just wait to the main straight and get him nicely even before the DRS opens. So up inside the top 10. So we've made 7 positions from our start, and we are on a pretty good strategy. Lap 25 now, so it's 6 laps into our stint already, and look at the gaps. Remember there was that huge gap between the 2 cars ahead of us and then Barbakov and the Netrex cars? We've all closed up because those Netrex cars are so slow on those old tyres, and potential opportunities coming our way. Cars there in the gravel, but it's actually Lahu first. He's going to have a bit of a wiggle there on the exit of Degner 2, and that's going to be a nice easy position up to P9 for us. So we've got Thomas Schmidt ahead of us now. The issue is for us is now the cars are in a train. So before, the 3 cars of Mancini, Fletcher, Lahu, they were all individual cars. Now we've got a 4-car train to get past. Here's the situation in the race. We've got Seva, we've got Zaligianis, Tom Oldemega and Ivanov, and this is complete real time. Look at the massive gap back to, it's going to be Leonov leading the train in P5. So realistically, P5, that is our goal. We've got 4 cars ahead of us that we need to try and get past over the course. And of course, as well, we have 1 pit stop to go. And look how sort of slow they are, almost running over them in towards the hairpin and coming into the final chicane. They're tripping over each other. They're making some overtakes. So really, we're working out what to do now. We need to stay out to lap 31 to get 12 laps on the mediums to the end. But I can't really get past these guys. Barbakov, though, we do manage to get past. So we see their tyres are wearing. So we switch strategies. We think, okay, they're about to pit, so why don't we get the undercut and try and jump past them? So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to go to the undercut, we're going to swap back to the hard compound tyres, and try and get track position and see how that's going to work out for us. So while they're battling, while they're squabbling for position, we're going to come into the pit lane. We're going to go back to the hard compound tyres instead of mediums. Unfortunately, I have a bit of a slow pit stop because I think I forgot to request the pit lane because it was a bit of a late decision. So Barbakov almost gets us a pit exit, but we managed to hold on. And there's Lahu, who's on a one-stop strategy. So to be fair, he's going to be pretty slow. But he's still a car that we need to overtake on our outlap, so this is not ideal. So we know we have to get past him here. Some of the cars there coming into the pit lane as we speak. We know it's going to be close on pit exit, so we have to make this move. It's going to be for 10th place, but this could eventually be the front of that train and that P5, which is going to be so important for us. So here we do decide to use that bit of extra push to pass, get down the inside into the final chicane, because we know we're going to have the traction on the exit to get past and hold on to that position. So that was a crucial half a second saved in that final chicane. And as we come out down the pit straight, you're going to see Fletcher, but also Danny Van Der Neet in the pit lane. They're going onto the medium tyres, but remember, we are on the hard, so we're going to have better tyre wear, and now we have track position. Look at that, we've got past in towards turn 1, and we just have one more car of Matt Tewson up ahead of us. But the crucial factor is we've jumped from the back of that train in 9th place up to an effective 5th position. So our pace has been pretty decent in this race, and our strategy has been just top class. So definitely a big shout out to my teammate Mitchie there for encouraging me to do that and get the track position. Of course, we're on the hard, so they're going to be a bit faster, especially in these next 5-6 laps, but we will have the tyres in the last 5 laps of the race. But now, once again, Matt Tewson, he needs to be seen off. This needs to be a lick the stamp and send it down the inside of the hairpin. And that's going to be done completely in control. Made the apex. Just an absolutely solid move there. Tewson probably didn't see that one coming, but I just held the push to pass the whole way up towards the hairpin. And fortunately, he saw me coming and gave it nicely. But it's worked out well for us because Tewson is not in our strategic battle. Lahu's not in our strategic battle. We've got a bit of a gap back to Barbakov and Danny Van Der Neet. And as we come up towards Spoon Corner, look on the right-hand side of the screen. Oh, there's been a bit of an issue there. Smoke has been brought up there. Let's see what's happened to Danny Van Der Neet. Just caught the grass coming through Spoon Corner, and yeah, that is going to be some tyre wear lost as well. So he's potentially not going to be a factor. And there is Sergio Fletcher. The end of that lap, Smith and Leonov come into the pit lane, and we go flying by. So we've done it. We've got up into 5th place. We've undercut them, and it's really working out well for us. So here's the order. We've got myself, got Lahu's on that one-stop strategy. Then we've got Leonov, Barbakov, Smith, Van Der Neet, and also Fletcher. So we've jumped all of them. The strategy has been perfect. Now, we just have to do these 13 laps, including this one, to the end of the race and hold on. The issue is Leonov is coming on the medium compound tyre. He's going to have an advantage in these next few laps. So he sees off Lahu, who, just struggling a bit on the long stint to the end on the medium tyres. And Barbakov actually follows him past. So we've got 2 cars now chasing us down with about 10 laps to go. Here's the gap on lap 33. Then lap 35, we were holding the gap nicely, but then I start getting a little bit too confident and I start making a couple of mistakes. So Leonov starts closing in again with those medium compound tyres. Barbakov has gone off by this point as well. So it's now just a two-way battle between me and Ivan Leonov for this 5th position. Lap 37 now of 43. So we've got 6 laps to go and is getting a bit tense between the two of us. Leonov this is his peak part of the stint. This is where he can have the advantage, but he just can't get on the power out of the final chicane. Lap 39 now. The laps are slowly ticking down and he just can't get close to me. And as we come in towards turn 1 and 2, look at my position counter in the middle of the bottom of the screen there. We go up to P4. Someone has had a bit of an issue. Let's see who it was. It was Zalagianis from 4th place. He's had a disconnection and that's given us a free position. As we come out, 2 laps to go, coming on to start lap 42. Can we hold on to this? It's going to be a P4 from 17th place on the grid if we can hold on to this. 2 laps to go. And as you see, we're starting to have that advantage come back to us with the hard compound tyres. And on to the final lap. This is the final opportunity of DRS in towards turn 1 for Ivan Leonov. But look at his rear tyres. He's sliding already on the first bit, slides on that second bit. And it's not going to be enough potentially with this final lap to go. And into the hairpin, you're just going to see once again rear tyres. They're just gone on these mediums. And that is going to be P4 for us in the Japanese Grand Prix, just the final sector to go, and I'm pretty happy. But is it going to be P4? Let's see. Tomoda Menga, my teammate, side by side of Ivanov. Ivanov goes onto the AstroTurf. He spins into the barrier. They both lose their front wing. Coming into the final chicane, Tom can't quite slow it down. Jumps across the chicane and is going to be finishing in that P2 position. But that is definitely controversial. But look what happens to him as he comes across the line. And as Victor comes across the line, he drops down to 3rd place. place. Tom has a time penalty by the game. He's sort of screaming a little bit on the radio. I cut the chicane, sort of panicking a little bit, so I have to slow down, not quite go full throttle to make sure I don't get a penalty either. And as we come across the line, it's going to be P3. We get a podium after Tom's in-game time penalty, and we finish third place, just 18 seconds off the lead, and we managed to hold on from Ivan Leonov. We got all those midfield runners as well. So I'm really, to be honest, I'm absolutely ecstatic with this one. Second podium of the season. It puts us into 8th place in the championship, just 1 point behind Munier, not too far off Leonov either. And to be honest, P4 is actually potential in that final race, depending on what happens in Brazil in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, really happy with the execution of this race. I just need to stop bottling qualifying, and as you see, I've got the pace, I've got the strategy. I'd say I've got pretty decent racecraft as well compared to these guys. Shame for my teammate Tom Aldermeyer, but I'm not going to be arguing with a P3. Really strong race from us, to be honest, as a team as well. In World Championship, my teammate Yanis Simoncic winning the World Championship title as well with 1 race to go. So we definitely had some good preparation for this race. We just need to try and do that once again for one final race in Brazil. Can either me or Tom finally get that race victory? We'll have to find out in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see what happens to round the season off in 2 weeks' time.